Hey fam, welcome back to another After Hours Live. I am your host, Open Lake Collective's founder. This show is honestly just me rapping and jamming, not literally rapping. I would never bother you guys with a rap song. That would be terrible. But this live is really just a huge hour of me breaking down some of the hottest brands. And we added an additional segment of DTC news. So I hope you enjoy. Please leave comments and questions. And I appreciate you all for tuning in. And before we get started, I just want to say thank you to my sponsor, Recharge. Shout out to them for always just helping me make the content, and also Chicago Podcast Studio, because that is where I am coming from you live from. All right, let's get started. I got a couple of hot and spicy news stories that I want to talk about. As I was actually preparing for this today, Lunchly dropped by Mr. Beast and Logan Paul and KSI. Lunchly, which, you know, if anybody knows me, I am an original employee of Feastables, but Lunchly is now coming to you from three creators that we all are familiar with. But what's really interesting about this is that they've all teamed up to create Lunchly, which is going to be a new competitor to Lunchables. Apparently, it's offering healthier and grab on the go. I don't know, man. The one thing I gotta say is that it's really still targeted to children. So, and we're adding Prime and we're adding chocolate and we're adding all these other ingredients into it. But I will say that when you compare it to Lunchables, the ingredients are a lot cleaner. So it will be really interesting to see how Lunchly takes off. I mean, it's pretty freaking genius if you ask me, that like these three top CPG brand creators are teaming up together. So too much more to tell. The other thing is David launched today, and the David is the newest protein bar founded by RX Bar co-founder Peter Rahal. We've heard a lot about this bar coming onto the market, and I think that the biggest thing about this bar is that it has 28 grams of protein and only 150 calories with zero sugar. I think this will be really interesting in the protein bar space. Especially because if you go to their website, shout out to Sharma Brands who built the website, but if you go to their website, you can see the comparison between protein versus like the other competitors on the space, but also cod fish. And it has as much protein, almost as much protein as cod fish. So I think we will see how it fares on the market. Okay. And then the other things that I want to talk about are honestly the things that I'm really interested in. So I don't know if anybody read about Selena Gomez last week. She was valued, Rare Beauty was valued at $2 billion. And there was talks about her selling the brand to Axios. But then at the end of the week, they reported that they weren't going to sell it and that it's actually too soon for them to value the company at $2 billion. So looks like the acquisition is off. And, you know, Selena Gomez is still like majority shareholder in Rare Beauty. I think it's really interesting as like being another creator brand, another skincare brand being valued at, even if it's not even a true valuation just yet, but being valued at $2 billion is pretty wild, my friends. Next up, I want to talk a little bit about The Row. I don't know if some of you are familiar with The Row, but The Row is Mary-Kate and Ashley Olsen's brand. And this brand is a fashion brand that's quiet luxury. Maybe that's why a lot of people haven't heard much of it, because the quiet luxury trend is supposed to be quiet. But what's really interesting that I just read about is that the family behind Chanel and the billionaire heiress of L'Oreal now have a stake in The Row. And what's also really interesting about this story is that their valuation is $1 billion. So for quiet luxury to be valued at $1 billion is pretty insane and has to be the envy of a lot of founders. all of a sudden now, because I've read about this, now I want a row purse, but TBD on if that'll happen. Last piece of news that I've come across is Kourtney Kardashian's brand Lemme has just dropped a GLP-1 dupe, which I think is also another really interesting thing to talk about, especially in like the DTC and CPG space, because Lemme started as like a supplement brand, very like beautiful branding. You can find it at Erewhon, like very like luxury types of grocers. And the fact that Kourtney has now dropped a GLP-1 has to tell you that, not necessarily becoming mainstream, but GLP-1s in general have gotten onto the mainstream, and like the better like alternatives and dupe versions of them are just coming out more and more on the market. And it'll be interesting to watch how Lemme's sales in this particular product escalate, and what honestly, and we talk about all these valuations, like what Lemme ends up being valued at. But I think it's a really cool marketing tactic for Lemme, to be honest with you. It's saying that it's the natural Ozempic alternative. And some of the ingredients that it includes is, I'm going to butcher these, but Iriomin, lemon fruit extract, Suppressa, saffron extract, and Moricel, red orange fruit extract. So all apparently all natural ingredients, and they have been clinically tested. So we shall see what happens. All right. Now, going on to the next piece. So today I really wanted to, instead of breaking down, multiple brands and like multiple different themes, I actually wanted to break down 3 specific brands in the skincare industry. The reason is because I talk a lot about consumer behavior, and I talk a lot about like marketing triggers and like how we market to a customer to get them to and convince them to purchase, right? And in these 3 particular brands, there's we're going to be breaking down Dime, Barefaced, as well as Glow Beauty. But what's interesting about these 3 different brands is that they're essentially selling the same types of product, but different demographics. And each of their tactics are very different in the sense of what their website layout is and their overall aesthetic, but their marketing plays, like having quizzes and product education and subscription and loyalty programs, are all the same, but they all vary in different ways. So I want to break this down because I feel like skincare industry as a whole is very oversaturated, but I think that a lot of these brands, there's a lot of things that we can learn from these brands. So let's go down to Barefaced first. Barefaced, what I really liked about Barefaced's online experience is that it was very streamlined. It was intuitive customer experience. The site had a very minimalist aesthetic. It's a lot of like simplicity in the aesthetic, but also in the skincare that you're going to get. The site really emphasizes personalized solutions, and it's really, pushes you to, yes, take the quiz, but it's really trying to convince the buyer of like, this is the right product for you. Don't go to Sephora and buy me online, and you are going to make the right choice. And so the first thing that we will talk about is their skincare quiz. Oh, that's weird. Okay. So their skincare quiz, I mean, very basic, like you're saying, am I a man? Am I a woman? But they tote that this quiz in particular is AI driven. And I mean, AI on the market in anything can offer you personalized solutions. What's interesting about it is I actually took the quiz, and it actually gave me an incorrect skin tone product, but that's neither here nor there. The other pieces that I will say about the quiz is that it asks very basic questions, but it does get down to the nitty-gritty of like what type of skincare you have, like what type of skin you have, like, are you acne prone? Are you oily? And it formulates the right formulas for you in their skincare, but pretty basic. But the piece that really drove me about Bareface is when you are looking at skincare products and you're buying them online, it's really hard to pick a product, right? Like it's really hard to pick a product and know that that you're picking the right product. And I don't know, I'm sure there's men out there that are listening in, but I know us women, we go to Sephora, we might pick up the wrong product, and then all of a sudden we're burned and we're never using that blush again or that bronzer again, right? But one of the things that I really, really liked about Bareface is that they're not only in their acquisition strategy, but also in their retention strategy, is that they were very focused on educating the customer in this is the right product for you, and teaching them how to like not only use the product, but educating their customer in how you use it and what you use it for, and like what you're mixing your serums with. So they really focus on creating that long-term relationship with their customer via like personalized recommendations and follow-ups in their email and SMS. The other thing that I really loved about them is that they have a really beautiful loyalty program. I've actually have written about this in my newsletter before. I love a tiered loyalty program, because what a tiered loyalty program is it's gonna hook in that customer, right? Like you're not gonna just say, hey, you're getting these rewards for your birthday, and all of a sudden, you're in the same tier as the person that's buying, like has bought like $500 worth. Like what Bareface does is they have their insider, their enthusiast, their VIP, and their overachiever. And structuring their tiered loyalty program in this way helps the customer really kind of work towards wanting to get to that next tier. They want to work towards getting to like spending a little bit more money, but because they're going to get like more in their rewards, or they're going to get VIP experiences. The other thing that I really, really loved about Barefaced in general was that they also, as you move up in your loyalty program, you get voting rights. And I think that if you have a product online or in store, and like giving your customer a piece of that pie really helps them in feeling like they have like ownership in it. And I think the voting rights is something have never seen. I've always seen like VIP experiences or limited edition, but at being able to create like a VIP customer out of your loyalty program and take them along for the ride is going to build that long-term relationship. So again, going back to like the retention strategy, that's the biggest play that I loved about Bareface is like, if you're not just going to make one purchase, I want to be with you for the long haul. And that over time, like that obviously creates your customer loyalty. They're more excited about like wanting to purchase your products, and it creates a lot of long-term success. Lastly, I just want to point out that one of the things that I experienced, I walked through their subscription program, and I don't have any screenshots of it to share, just because there was like a lot of private information on it. But I walked through their subscription program and their subscription churn through recharge. I really liked the questions that it was asking me. It's like collecting data on like why I'm churning out, rather than just being like, okay, thanks for coming, see you later. All of that churn information, like it will help you analyze how to keep your customer to continue coming back, and also improve your product offering. And then the other thing is that a lot of times we'll go into these subscription programs and like maybe we have too much product, or maybe we are no longer interested, but the churn prevention feature in their subscription program, like actually walked me through, like, are you sure you want to churn out? Ask me questions and like really tried to put me into different scenarios so that I could stay. It's kind of like having an always on kind of customer experience person to really save that customer from churning out. So those are all the things that I really liked in their program. Like I said, I do think that like as the first skincare product, you will see that in the next ones that I talk about, like there are very similarities, but the difference is that they're running their programs in different ways, which is like plays into creating brand loyalty. So the next one that I want to talk through is Dime. Okay, I am obsessed with this brand. I haven't even tried it yet. I've only ordered it at this point, But I mean, the aesthetics of the website are just so clean, so fresh. I feel pretty, even just like adventuring down the website. And I think that that's really important to call out because Dime in particular, is a product that is very about clean ingredients. It's all about like showcasing their clean beauty ethos with like visually appealing and user-friendly interface. The other thing that I really liked about them, and I think it'll come, I actually don't have a screenshot, but they had a shop by concern. So that's something that I thought was really different in their customer experience, like walking through their website and convincing me to purchase from them is yes, like I can go and purchase via a skincare quiz and answer some things and you can put me into the right footing. But if I come to the website and I'm like, I know that I'm coming to Dime for clean beauty, and maybe I'm experiencing acne or maybe I experience rosacea, I'm able to shop by my skincare concern right off the bat without having to walk through some sort of like AI personalization recommendation tool. Not to say that they don't have it, but I like that that's a good selling point to get me to convert as a user. The other thing that I really, really liked about Dime, and you can see this across all of their content on their website, is that they really integrate like more lifestyle content and tutorials as well as influencer reviews. I mean, the biggest thing is like people influence people, right? Like we need that social proof to know that like one, this product is going to work for me, or one, am I having the same type of issues as the person influencing me, right? Um, so just to go back one more step though, when we talked about quizzes. So of course, like they do have a skincare quiz, pretty basic, nothing to really write home about. I'm going to be honest with you. The one call out that I would say was kind of not a great experience for me. I'm mixed. I'm half Salvadorian and I'm half Russian. So I have very like, different type, like more olive skincare or skin tones, but I also have like different skincare concerns. And in their quiz, it asked me the ethnicity, and there was no option for two or more races. And I just thought that was a little bit of a miss on like a customer experience, but nothing that like held me back because I still purchased their product because it's very aesthetically pleasing and pretty. So the other thing that I really loved about them, and I said this already, but you can shop by your concern, but you also have an education portal. And this is very similar to other skincare brands, don't get me wrong, but what their portal is they lead with the messaging that this product is built from an esthetician. It's built with clean beauty, and it also leads with educating you on what clean beauty is. I think I don't think I think now people are familiar with what clean beauty is, but I don't think it's widely familiar. I think there's brands out there like Elf and CoverGirl and all these like brands that we've like grown up with utilizing. But there's a whole clean beauty movement because there's a lot of like nasty stuff, like just like in our food, there's nasty stuff in our makeup, right? And so there is this huge clean beauty movement, which a lot of people aren't really educated on, like what types of ingredients are in their products. And so what I loved about Dime Beauty's education portal in particular was that they really focus on what the verifications of a clean product is. They really focus on educating you what clean product is. So I like honestly left their website feeling more educated about my product choices and wanting to purchase from them. That already, whether I would have made that purchase right there in that moment or made it later, I am already loyal to their brand because they're spending the time educating me and helping me out of like that hindsight bias. And if you don't know what like hindsight bias is, it's basically like this is a bit of a tangent, but it's hindsight bias is about like the new it and I know it all along effect. And essentially like how that applies to what I'm talking about is a lot of times you will make like for skincare in particular, you maybe walked into Sephora and maybe you bought a bronzer that didn't end up working for you. So then you went to another website or another product and bought a bronzer or looked at a bronzer that was like very similar, but because you were burned by that Sephora situation, you think that like you know it's not going to work for you, right? And so that's my point about like hindsight bias is that like I really think that by educating their customer, by putting the skincare quizzes and really driving with loyalty first or like the conditions of creating you as a loyal customer, that really helps with getting rid of that bias. So lastly, I did mention this already about loyalty. So yes, from like an acquisition and a conversion standpoint, they're already building that loyalty piece. But again, with them, they have another loyalty program, and theirs is a little bit differently structured than Bareface. Like theirs is more about a point system. But what I really liked about them is that if you've ever been to, I don't know, a Safeway where you're like every purchase, you're earning points and you can use that for gas or Sephora, there's like their Beauty Insider program. You can use your points to get like free product. Dime has that for you on their website. And I think that's a really dope experience because it's eliminating me wanting to go to a store because I know that like I maybe if I make that purchase, I'm going to earn points and I can get free products. Like Dime is actually displaying like, hey, if you earn this many points, you get this product for free. And it also is utilizing a sampling effect. I think that by displaying their points and earning their points in this manner and being able to redeem them for smaller sample size product, this is playing into the long-term loyalty and success of your customer because basically you're giving them that sampling product. They've earned those points. You're giving them that sampling product. And now they're like, they're trying something new that then they'll return to purchase at another purchase. So I really like the way that like they've really structured this loyalty program. And then, the other thing that I will point out about their subscription, and I don't have it listed here, but they offer the subscribe and save, like which is a standard offering in most subscriptions, but beauty products can become costly, right? Like if I subscribe to a cream that costs me $40 to $100 and I get that every single month, like I want to be able to save with every one of my purchases. But it also again is building that loyalty and building that retention strategy. It incentivizes the customer to commit to that regular shipment. I know it's like a standard subscription strategy, but the purpose of that subscribe and save is so important. It's really to like push your customer to like want to be in a long-term relationship with you, but also give them something back for being in that relationship. The last thing that I will point out is that they have really great customer experience. I tested out their customer experience by writing to them on their chat. And I was like, hey, like, I don't really know what product that I want. And the agent was able to walk me through my experience. She asked me questions. She really like helped me fit into what the product was. And it wasn't just a standard support service relationship, which I can appreciate as a customer experience girly. I like this stuff. So, Dime products, telling you guys, I think you should check them out. I loved them. And then next up, I do want to talk about Glow Recipe. I don't know if you've seen Glow Recipe. I mean, if you've been on the TikTok and if you're on the TikTok side of skincare beauty, Glow Recipe like shows up so often on my TikTok. Even like some of the makeup artists that I've worked with for like content stuff, like they're always like utilizing those products. So I think that like they are very interesting, but what I really liked about Glow Recipe, and like we talked about Bareface and we've talked about Dime, but those are really driven to more of like the millennial woman. And like Glow Recipe is driven towards the millennial, but also the Gen Z woman. And I think that they're like very fun and vibrant and like not only their packaging, but also in their website. I will tell you, there is a lot going on in their website that I almost was like, had a little bit of overload. Um, One of the reasons why I'm not bringing it up on the site right now. But I think that they exemplify that like vibrant and engaging and colorful and playful aesthetic. So like when you're going to that website, like you know what you're getting, you know you're getting fun, you know you're getting vibrant. And they also kind of trigger a little bit of like my nostalgia effect. Like they remind me of some makeup products. I can't, the names are escaping me right now, but like makeup products that I've used when I was younger and they smelled like, you know, strawberries or whatever. But like I think it was a CoverGirl product, but they like the products that I used when I was a kid, when I was coming up, right? Like, and I would start utilizing makeup, like I would want like fun smelling and tasting things. And even though like their stuff is really more of like smelling, less tasting, I'm like, when I'm enter their website and I enter the like the realm of Glow Recipe, I'm instantly triggered to when I was a young girl utilizing makeup. And I think that like that that is a selling point in itself, right? Um, so, you know, the other thing is again, they have like another quiz, but they made it fun. Like they made it really fun. Like you can see on the screenshot that I'm like putting up that every like when they talk about balanced and normal, it's like in this ombre colored background with a scale, right? And like they're making like all of these like images to accompany their quiz. So you're getting a visual cue, but you're understanding what like the written part is as well. And I thought that that like from a brand experience point of view, going from like website into skincare quiz, I know exactly what I'm getting at like every one of my touch points. And I think that that is really awesome. The other thing that I like want to point out about Glow Recipe too, and like why this aesthetic matters and that brand experience matters is because Glow Recipe is really about community building. Like they want to connect with their people. Like I mentioned that they were on TikTok, right? And like that's how I've come across them. But like because they've put so much emphasis in building a community and not just on the education piece of it, but but utilizing influencers and utilizing like that social proof, they've created a following behind them, like people influencing people, right? And I think that it's very inspiring in a way when you're trying to market to the Gen Z audience because Gen Z audiences they want to feel a part of something. They want to feel a part of a community, but they also like I'm looking at my my previous intern, now social media manager, because she is Gen Z and she's constantly telling me like that, oh, you know, don't do that online because that's like lame, or oh, I think you should do this thing. But like that, but my point is that Gen Z is very cut and dry. Like they want to feel a part of community. They want to feel a part of a community that's like vibrant and has like a vibrant aesthetic and is fun. If it's not fun, they're not going to buy from you. So the brand experience of Glow Recipe going from that social media fun to then website vibrant fun and then the entire experience being fun is not only acquiring the customer but also converting them. And we'll get into some of their loyalty stuff next, but like it's can be seen throughout their entire marketing strategy. So going into just quickly the education, again, I think there's not much to note here. I will say that one of the things that I really appreciated about the education for Glow Recipe was that yes, they talked to me about skin concerns, but they also are going to talk to me about the ingredients. They're like spending time to educate me on what those ingredients are so I know that I'm making the right choice. Again, going back to like selling to Gen Z in particular and even just like millennial women, we're very conscious at this point in our this juncture of society about what we're ingesting into our body, what we're putting on our body, that like people care about ingredients. And I think what's interesting about Glow Recipe is like I talked to you about like a lot of doing community and a lot of that vibrant and the fun, but they still have the serious aspect and in a fun way of educating their consumer on what it is that they're consuming or putting on to build loyalty. So I nothing to really report there, but I think that I love the way that they utilize visual cues and the aesthetic through this channel. So the other thing that I want to point out is that they have another rewards program. The biggest thing to call out about their program is they're calling it Club Glow. They're calling it members only. And they're calling those perks like members only perks, right? And so again, Glow is very much about like community building offline and online that the community building even flows into the rewards program. And I think that that's really important from a brand experience point of view that like you can go catch them online, you can go and convert them. And then if you become a part of their rewards program, like this is your official badge into the community. And I think that I think from a brand experience point of view, it's just like it's important. There's nothing really to like, tell like that you earn loyalty points on recurring purchases. And like the other thing is that you're earning those points on like the longer you stay with them, you're being incentivized to continue subscribing to them. And shout out to Recharge because not only is their subscriptions run by Recharge, but also the rewards program. And so like that is an important call out, not necessarily just about Recharge, is that um Glow Recipe is like utilizing their subscription program and loyalty all in one to build that long-term commitment and to incentivize their subscribers as much as possible. And then the last thing that I wanna, like, point out is that Glow Recipe. So from a customer experience point of view, what I thought was really interesting and very cool is, like, yes, like, in the conversations that I had with their agent, 'cause I tested all of these with their agents, but, there was, like, very, like, personalized services, but they also offer virtual consultations, and what I loved about that, again, I started off by talking about skincare being, like, very hard to being very hard to like convince your purchaser to purchase from you online because they can't try it on first, right? By offering that virtual consultation, by offering the education, by offering the quizzes and all of these points, you can convince your purchaser to buy from you because you're personalizing that service. So one of the things that I did was I reach out to their customer experience agents and ask them like, "Hey, like I'm not sure which product, like there's so many SKUs." I was like, "I'm not sure what products that I wanted." And the person that I was talking to walked me through not just like what my skincare problems were, but like also walked me through what I'm trying to solve for and really made me feel like I was like at the store and making a purchase in person. So all three of these products are very fun, and I think that they all have various different things about them. They're all skincare, but they all have different like demographics and different psychographics that they're catering to, and each one of their experiences are very similar, but what it comes down to is delivering the right brand experience, the right messaging, and the right positioning to your customer in various different ways. Um, yeah, and that is it. We ended really early. I talked really fast as being a one-woman show this time. If there's any questions out there, I would love to answer some questions. And I just appreciate you all tuning in. Okay. Catch me on the next After Hours Live. I really appreciate any comments. And if you're looking to work with us, Open Lake Collective is a brand strategy, retention marketing, and CX agency. So we're here to help. We can dissect your subscription programs and your loyalty programs and help you deliver the best possible. Also, if you're looking for any sort of long form media, I have a newsletter called Sunday Postcards, as well as a podcast called Above the Fold, where I am not only breaking down brands, but I'm also interviewing a lot of operators and founders in the space. And I appreciate you all for tuning in. Doodles.